What's up, Pokemon trainers? Last week, we talked about the magic of Mega Venusaur, but today we're going to be talking about a different grass-type starter Pokemon. It's going to be from the Johto region. That's right! It's Mega Meganium Monday! I am pretty sure it's Monday when I'm recording this video. It's not, it's Tuesday. And it's a different day when this is going out on YouTube. I'm sure it's Monday somewhere, that's how that works, right? Anyway, some idiots, I won't name names, thought that Mega Meganium was going to be bad in Pokemon Champions. But it turns out, she's actually pretty good. Mega Meganium gets access to a brand new signature ability when she Mega Evolves called Mega Soul. Mega Soul basically allows Meganium to always act as if the sun is active on the field, meaning that it can fire off solar beams without a turn of charge up, and it always has access to a fire-type Weather Ball. And it always gets the Sun Boost as well, which is a really, it basically gives you a stab, no drawback, 100 base power fire move. It's really crazy. Between those two options, it gives Meganium a really interesting niche in the format right now, because recently we've seen a ton of teams featuring Milotic and various Steel types come to the fore. Milotic and Aegislash, Milotic and King Gambit. And there's not really a lot of Pokemon that deal with Milotic super well. Meganium, she do. You could just fire off a Solar Beam threatening the Milotic, and you can also fire off a Weather Ball threatening those pesky Steel-type Pokemon. So I got to thinking, if Meganium is able to deal with this really common core, surely Meganium is well positioned right now. The main problem with Meganium is its defensive profile. It's pretty slow with an 80 base speed, and it also has a really bad defensive typing of Grass and Fairy, giving it 5 really common weaknesses. Fire, Ice, Poison, Flying, and Steel are not exactly types you want to be weak to when you're not going first. So the biggest question was figuring out what team allows Meganium to actually fire off those powerhouse moves. Let's get into it. It's me, Editing Pengy from the future. Something that I forgot to mention when I was recording this is that a couple of days ago, I did actually manage to get top 8 in a 100-person tournament with this team, so it is tried and tested. I've also been in the champion tier with it about a week ago, so it's good. Trust. And here is our squad. Now, if you're an avid VGC content consumer, you might say, Pengy, that looks a lot like Joseph Ugarte's Sand Team. Yes. So I was going back and forth with a couple of my building friends, and as we were talking about different ways to build the Meganium team, I realized I think the best way to run it is to just put it on Joe's Sand Team over the Mimikyu. And I kind of stand by that. Now, I do want to be clear that I'm not saying that Meganium is the best way to run Joe's Sand Team. I just think that Joe's Sand Team is the best way to run Meganium, if that makes sense. Fundamentally, it offers a couple of different things in the Mimikyu slot, so let's start with Meganium. What is Meganium doing here? Now, Meganium offers ways to hit some really common threats, things that I talked about in the intro, like you can offer a pretty reliable 1-hit KO into Milotic with Solar Beam, which is really, really good, but another big one is Weather Ball into Archaludon. This team kind of struggles to remove a well-positioned Archaludon, so being able to have Weather Ball as another option to just hit it for like 70% reliably is really, really good. Those are kind of the main use cases, but of course Meganium is capable of blowing up so many things in the format that it's kind of hard to say when to bring Meganium on a macro scale. You kind of just bring it when it looks like your opponent isn't going to be able to stop it from KOing 2 or 3 pieces. And we'll hopefully get some examples in the gameplay. The rest of the team is a pretty standard Sand team. We start with our Sand Setter Tyranitar, who is holding the Tyranitarite. That means we are running 2 Megas on this team. Tyranitar is a really interesting one because you don't have to Mega the Tyranitar. It is capable of just being a good Mon on its own. Sometimes all it needs to do is set the sand. Sometimes you just want to deal damage with it and have Meganium clean up with the Mega. Unlike Meganium, Tyranitar doesn't have to Mega. Meganium, on the other hand, basically does. If it's not Mega'd, it doesn't really do anything. Now, with the Sand, we get Excadrill. Excadrill's Sand Rush ability allows it to be basically the fastest thing in the format as long as the Sand is up. One exception is Unburden Sneasler, but Sneasler needs a turn to activate the Unburden, so Excadrill will have access to Sand Rush before Sneasler has access to Unburden and can threaten to KO it with Earthquake. It also gets Rock Slide, the best move in the format. It hits really big threats like Charizard and Aerodactyl, and of course gives you a 30% chance to flinch both of your opponent's Pokemon. I don't like this move, but it's a lot more fun when I'm the one using it. Finally, it gets Iron Head as some good Steel stab coverage. Really good into Floette, really good into some just general neutral targets. also just things like Frostlass. Let's talk about Corviknight. Corviknight, fun fact, is one of my favorite Pokemon. Actually, another fun fact about this team. The first team that I ever top cut a 100-person tournament with was in 2020 in Sword and Shield, and I had Excadrill, Corviknight, Rotom Wash on that team. So half of that team is here today. Not really relevant to this team build explanation, but just a little fun fact for you guys. Corviknight is one of my favorite Pokemon, and it's the linchpin of this team. It is really good into the format right now. There are not that many things that hit it, so what you can do is you can position a bulk up Roost Corviknight and kind of use the rest of the team to remove the threats to it, and then Corviknight can endgame really reliably. Now, on top of that, it also has access to Tailwind, which is a really, really good way to enable both Tyranitar and Meganium. It's a really, really good way to make sure that Excadrill keeps being the fastest thing on the field as well, especially if you're at risk of losing Sand, or if they also have Tailwind, or if they have Unburdened Sneasler and you need both modifiers. It's a great move. Tailwind on Corviknight is really, really helpful for positioning a lot of your pieces. Rotom is kind of a filler here. The team needed a way to hit Milotic before Meganium was added, and Rotom is pretty good into that. It's also really good into Garchomp. Really, really nice with that Levitate ability. Because Rotom is levitating, this is also relevant to Corviknight as a flying type. You can click Earthquake next to them with Excadrill, which is great. Basically, we have 3 Levitators here, so Excadrill can spam Earthquake a lot more reliably than on some teams. And with Rotom, you have access to Hydro Pump, Will-O-Wisp, Thunderbolt. These are all really, really good moves off of Rotom. The reason why I wasn't happy with just Rotom as a Meganium counter is that some Meganiums can actually live 2 Thunderbolts, which is crazy. So, like, you need 3 turns with the Rotom, and they're not often going to give you that long. So, it is good into Milotic, but it's usually just going to be here as a really nice defensive piece. I like using it into teams that struggle to hit the Rotom and just kind of spread damage, disruption with Wisp, Hydro Pump, Thunderbolt. We'll probably see it in a game today. But yeah, not the most important piece on the team. I think you could also mess around with turning it into a Milotic yourself, but Rotom is pretty decent. And then finally, Hydreigon. Hydreigon is here mostly as a matchup check, especially to Scarf Basculegion. Scarf Basculegion is kind of the natural enemy of Sand teams, and Hydreigon threatens a potential one-hit KO on it with Dark Pulse, and is also faster than Basculegion. So Scarf Hydreigon, faster than Scarf Basculegion. Dark Pulse, GG. Most of the time. Now, the reason why Hydreigon is actually really good as a Basculegion team specifically, or as a Basculegion counter specifically on Sand, is that Dark Pulse is actually a roll on Basque, but the min roll does 94%, so the Sand will pick up the Basculegion in the event that you low roll Dark Pulse, which is kind of nice. You really do want to KO the Basculegion, though, so hopefully you hit that roll. It's also really good to just spread really good neutral damage with Draco Meteor. Can be good into Archaludon. Can be really good into pieces like Scovillain as well. Just general things that you want big damage on. Draco Meteor can be really, really good. So that's the team. Let's put the replica code live. There's our replica code. I'm going to leave this live for a couple of weeks, and just check it on out for sure. I will talk about the spreads really quick because I forgot to do that. I want to be super clear. These are not Joe Ugarte's spreads. I'm not leaking anything. I don't know what his spreads are. These are just my spreads. They might be similar. They might not be. But for now, replica code. I will leave this up for a couple of weeks. Try the team out. Have some fun. I hope you enjoy it. Let's talk over the spreads really, really quick. Excadrill! This guy hits hard and doesn't live very long a lot of the time. It's holding a Focus Sash, so it doesn't really need a lot of extra bulk. Adamant to do as much damage as possible. Max speed to be as fast as possible. Corviknight is built to be very, very specially defensive. The main calc that I went for here is I wanted Corviknight to survive opposing Meganium Weather Ball, which is something that was coming up a little bit in Sand Meganium mirrors. This is actually an archetype that you might play a mirror of. The other things that it does is it does allow you to survive a lot of Electroshots from Archaludon, but that's not a guarantee. The biggest one is actually that you take a lot less damage from Rotom than the Rotom players expect. So a lot of players will just double the Corviknight with like Sneasler, Rotom, Close Combat, Thunderbolt, and you just live, which is kind of cool. So it allows you to get a Tailwind off if you want. It can give you a little bit of room to maneuver with your partner. I like this Corviknight spread a lot. The 8 attack was to guarantee KOs on bulky Sneaslers. Now they're bulkier, so you're not doing that anymore. Honestly, you could mess around with those 8 attack EVs. You could move them into somewhere else, but I like the spread. I wouldn't lower the SpDef at all. I'm pretty happy with it, personally. Rotom is just my standard bulky Rotom spread. Max HP, 10 in each defense. It's pretty bulky. It doesn't have a lot of specific calcs, because not that much hits this thing for super effective damage. There's not really any grass types in the game, except for, like, Meganium and, like, Venusaur. So you just live a lot of stuff. You have a Citrus Berry, you've got a lot of bulk that way. I like the modest nature, so you do just a little bit more damage with Thunderbolt with Hydro Pump, and then the speed is there because I want to be faster than opposing Milotics, and some of the Milotics, especially the Icy Wind ones, like to run 113 speed. So we're running 115, a little bit faster than that. Make sure that we can go first against a lot of those Milotics. Tyranitar, a lot of people will run max HP, max attack. I decided to add some speed for a couple of reasons. There was a brief window where a bunch of King Gambit players on ladder were running max speed King Gambit for the Tyranitar matchup, so I decided to be faster than max speed King Gambit. You will notice that 93 speed is not faster than max speed King Gambit. Mega Tyranitar actually gets a speed boost when it megas, so the Mega T-Tar is faster, but the speed does actually help in its non-mega form. It outspeeds some things like Incineroar is a big one, so you can get Rock Slides off before Incin Parting Shot's out. If you're lucky, you get a flinch, but you also just get really good super effective damage. I like the spread a lot. I think that there's a lot of clever stuff you can do with Mega T-Tar spreads, but this is the one we're running today. Mega Meganium is max speed modest. The idea here is that initially I was running it really bulky, but I was struggling with things like the Mirror and just generally things being faster than Meganium. Meganium hits 132 speed, which is a pretty good speed stat. You're pretty reliably going to be faster than middling speed stuff like Archaladon. You're pretty reliably going to be the faster Meganium, which is really, really nice. And then max special attack, or close enough to it, is because this is what you need to reliably pick up Milotic KOs. It's really important for Meganium to be KOing Milotic in one hit, so I'm giving it quite a lot of special attack investment. The HP investment is just a little bit of extra bulk. This allows it to live a couple of things. I think it was like... I honestly don't remember, but yeah, you have a little bit of bulk. The Hydreigon is very simple. You are faster than max speed Basculegion. You are max special attack, so you can kill said Basculegion, and the rest goes into HP. This is, I think you have to kind of run this. You can mess around with the HP EVs a little bit, but I think this is the best way to run Hydreigon. And that's it. Let's get into some games. So we have a Delphox and a Gardevoir. This is hostile to Meganium. This is not a Meganium matchup. Actually, this is a silly goofy matchup. This is a we clicky the rock slide button matchup. Actually, is Meganium good in the last slot here? I think Meganium actually is pretty good here. Because nothing here is really that good into Meganium except for the Delphox. So if I can position Meganium in a way where I've either removed the Delphox or the Delphox is like off the board when Meganium comes in, we can definitely make some magic happen. So the Delphox comes in on lead. This is not a surprise. My goal is to remove Delphox and then allow my Meganium to do things. We're just going to rip the Rock Slides here. I expect Delphox to probably protect, but Rock Slide's my only way to deal damage to Rotom anyway, really. I guess Knock Off. But we're going to be obnoxious and annoying to this Delphox. A lot of Delphoxes carry the move Encore, so you don't really want to do something passive like protecting. So I'm clicking Rock Slide where, sure, you can Encore me into Rock Slide. That's fine. They do Wisp the T-Tar here. I'm okay with that. I'm not Megaing this bad boy. I would prefer to not be Wisp, but this was kind of what I was expecting turn one. The thing is, Delphox is so frail that I can just blow it up anyway. Good chip to the Rotom on turn one. So now we have to think about what they can bring in. But I think it's always just Rock Slide anyway, because we want to continue doing damage to the Rotom. I will knock off the Delphox, though, because A, this is super effective into the Delphox, and B, it'll be annoying for anything that potentially switches in. Gorchamp. Hopefully we get something like a Scarf or a Citrus Berry. That would be cool. Well, we're not going to get a Citrus Berry. Alright. Oh, he actually did get a Scarf. Okay, cool. That's neat. Rotom continuing to take pretty sizable damage here. Garchomp's pretty low, or like low is not the right word, but Garchomp is not in an amazing spot itself. Is this a Meganium switch-in moment? It might be. Garchomp can't really threaten it that well. The problem is that it's a mono grass type right now, but it's going to click Earthquake. Yeah, there's not really much that they can do to stop me from ripping this. And now the Garchomp is definitely in range for Solar Beam, which is kind of nice. Also, Dazzling Gleam, I think. So Rock Slide Dazzling Gleam might be able to pick up the Rotom. In fact, I'd be a little surprised if it didn't. Okay. A little bit more damage than I would have liked on the Meg, but it's okay. I don't think Garchomp has a way to threaten this. A Rock Slide flinch on this Garchomp would go a long way. I expect the Rotom is probably protecting. Oh, no. Okay. Meganium faster than Rotom? It really should be, since it was Citrus. No Rock Slide flinches today, unfortunately. Not in this one. But I should be able to pick up the double KO. Nice. Now the problem remains that Delphox is still here. Delphox is still here. Mega doesn't have a great way of hitting Delphox, and by that I mean it doesn't have any way of hitting Delphox. The Corviknight lives a hit. Whimsicott. Interesting. This is the last turn of Sandstorm, which is actually kind of annoying, because it means that Whimsicott will not take damage from the sand, so if it's sashed, it's going to live the turn, which I would really prefer it not to. But it's gonna. Burned Tyranitar definitely 1v1s Delphox. So if the Whimsicott is not sashed, we are good. If the Whimsicott is sashed, I think I have to... okay, yeah. So, but if the Whims is oh, yeah, no, we just died a Heat Wave now. Yeah, no, I should have seen that coming. Not that there was really anything I could have done about this. Oh, Corviknight? Oh, it's so good, bro. All right, get the KO, get the KO, get the KO. Sashed. All right. Not ideal, but not the end of the world either. We're going to force them to click Sunny Day again. Meganium being still alive also forces them to click Heat Wave, which is a 90% accurate move. I guess the question is, does a sun-boosted Heat Wave into 2 ticks of burn and then a single target sun-boosted Heat Wave pick up T-Tar? Because I'm pretty sure that Rock Slide and a knockoff should be enough to get the Delphox. Okay, they do get the double connect here. T-Tar looks like it's going to take another one of those. It's going to be close with single target damage. Oh, yeah! Delphox definitely goes down. Now the question is, do we live? If they have sub, I think we lose, because then they go protect, sub, protect, attack. Well, I mean, always lose. They still have to hit the move, but I think that's the play that they have. But most of them are running Encore now and not sub. Ooh, it's going to be so close. Looks like a roll to me. 2 HP Tyranitar! Let's go, baby! Got him! Got him! Nice. That's my goat. That's my goat, T-Tar. Alright, Blastoise stuff. Blastoise Floette. Looking like it's probably, like, fake out Water Spout Blastoise. Secondary Mega. Meganium looks really good into Blastoise. Looks not great into, like, Talonflame. But do you think they bring Talonflame here? I don't think they bring Talonflame here. We're gonna do this. Bring Meganium, but we're gonna bring it in the back. Garchomp, Sneasler. Alright, we're just going to double protect here turn 1 on the fake out turn, and then I think we're going to switch and click EQ. Do they have a good switch into this? Just Talonflame. I mean, if they're going to commit to bringing Talonflame in this matchup, I think I'm pretty okay with that. What do we get? Oh, they did actually commit to Talonflame. I think then I'm actually going to Mega the T-Tar. I don't necessarily need to. So, the awkward thing for my opponent here is that by switching in the Talonflame, they lose their Gale Wing, so they no longer have priority, and they're dead to Rock Slide. So, this creates a little bit of a 50-50 situation, but it's actually not really a 50-50 situation, because what I can do is I can click Rock Slide Tailwind, and then if they protect, I bring in my T-Tar, and then I can just Rock Slide with the T-Tar. Okay. We missed the unimportant one. We get the Talonflame. With Talonflame out, Meganium is back to being pretty decent. Obviously, there is a Sneasler, but there's no Unburden on it right now, meaning that Meganium will be faster than it. I guess the question is, what Meganium do? Because Meganium doesn't really threaten a ton of damage into Sneasler, but Corviknight should be able to outspeed it. Because most of them are running Adamant, and the Corviknight is, without any speed investment, outspeeds Adamant, Sneasler, and Tailwind. Fake Out is on board, potentially. But Fake Out doesn't really do that much for them here. We're just going to rip the attacks. Of course, if they're Jolly Sneasler, this whole plan falls apart. But like 90% of Sneaslers are Adamant right now. Here comes the Mega. Uh-oh, low battery. Fake Out comes in. I'm super fine with that. Sneasler does survive. Yeah, I mean, Rock Slide's not going to do that much. And now Dazzling Gleam threatens a KO, a very obvious double KO. So from here, I could do a fun little Corviknight play. This is something that I really like doing with the Corviknight, is when you have board states like this where the partner is just threatening a double KO, this is just the world's freest Roost or Bulk Up. Looking at what they have, I think Roost is better because I'd rather be at full HP in case I need another Tailwind. But the Sneasler here, no Unburden. Garchomp takes easily this much. So we're just going to be able to get a Roost off. They are going to double protect here. A little bit annoying. Now that Corviknight is also... Like, now I just do the same thing, but I bulk up. So I get the Roost, I get the bulk up. We're chilling. Only one of these Mons can switch out because they only have 3 Mons left. So we're guaranteed at least 1 KO. And if we get 1 KO, it's a passive turn. This is just a really, really favorable board state where I could just always advance my position. They are just going to go for the double-double. Oh, no, they only went for 1. Well, that's a nice, easy double KO for me. And Meganium! Meganium! My beloved! Very nice. It doesn't really matter what's left. Blastoise gets blown up. Floette loses the 3v1. What was the last Pokemon that they had? King Gambit. King Gambit gets blown up. And the final one is Blastoise. Unfortunately, there is nothing that Blastoise can do. I guess, like, Mega Ice Beam kills Meganium. But then I get Tailwind up. I guess, like, in the interest of ultra safety... No, because Meganium is faster than Mega Blastoise, so I don't actually care. We are going to set Tailwind in case it, like, lives and KOs me back, but, like... This should be fine. Like, I guess it could be, like, Scarf. Well, it's not anymore. Now it can't be. But this should just go down, I think. Blastoise is pretty bulky, but we have Mega Soul. The power of Solar Beam compels you! Check this out, guys. Boom! How you like them cannons, Blastoise? Nice! And that is my Meganium Sand team. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoy the team if you try it out. Definitely let me know in the comments below how your Meganium experiences have been. Tell me how you like to run Meganium. And let me know which Mega Pokemon you'd like to see me play with next. I've got a whole bunch of Mega Pokemon that I want to try out, but I'd like to know what you guys want to see as well. Before we go, let's just have a poll. I have my free poll at the ranch. With all of you guys here, surely it's time. Surely I will be lucky today. Well, doesn't look like it. But, I mean, this is actually a really good poll. There's a lot of really good Pokemon in here. We're going to go with... I'm going to go with Fan Rotom. Because you know what, guys? I'm a fan of Rotom. And I hope that you guys are a fan of these videos. If you are, subscribe to the channel. Come on back for the next one. And if you guys want to watch live game footage, like the tournament that I played with this team the other day, check out the stream. It's linked in the description below. And I will see you guys next time.